Government's Inter Ministerial Task Team on Vuwani, led by Communications Minister Faith Muthambi, held a meeting with residents of Tshino today. Scores of people, including learners from different schools, attended. The meeting was aimed at encouraging communities to allow schooling in the area to resume and also promote social cohesion. For more on the story, we are now joined on the line by our reporter Michael Maringa in Vuwani, Limpopo. Michael, good evening and thank you so much for joining us. What was the outcome of the meeting between the residents of Tshino and the Inter Ministerial Committee?
Evening to Lulu and the viewers. Look, the Inter Ministerial team led by Minister Faith Muthambi, its purpose, as you have rightfully indicated, was to try and create social cohesion amongst the communities there. We're talking about villages that are protesting and those that have been cleared by the boundary lines, which means that they will not be falling amongst the villages that are going to form part of the new municipality with Malamulel. Let us indicate that the meeting has reached a consensus that there should be an understanding that regardless of the grievances that the community have, there must be schooling in the area. Traditional leaders, Sanko, Kosas are among the people who were part of that meeting. They are all speaking in one voice to say that they cannot have a situation where schools are torched. They can't have a situation where roads are barricaded. They were encouraging people to at least respect the constitution of the country, to allow people to do what they think is best for them. They must not be dictated to as to how they should behave or do their daily activities. So the meeting in a way was very fruitful. The minister spoke and they had an understanding that going forward they should at least understand each other and allow schooling to resume.
Now, Michael, describe to us the current situation in Vuwani. What's the mood like? Speak to us about the mood before the interministerial meeting with the community and after the meeting. You say there was a consensus that everything must return to normal. Is this going to be the case? Has this been communicated to the community who were not a part of the meeting?
Look, Lulu, it is very difficult because before the meeting, I visited the schools, most especially those that were torched 3 weeks ago. All those schools were not running today. They were all closed. When you get into those institutions, there were only security guards who were guarding the mobile classrooms that were delivered last week. There is tension you can see because the transport system is still not restored. So people are still struggling to get transport into another town because their very own is still locked down. The shutdown continues. It is difficult at this stage to say if they will agree because during the previous interactions where ministers were meeting communities, they also agreed that schooling should resume. Last week we saw some schools in the area where schooling had resumed, but to my surprise today when we visited the same schools, the gates were closed, they were locked, it was only security guards, and there is this fear that teachers are being intimidated when they go to schools. They are told that their houses will be torched as well. So it is still going to be a long process. Engagements are still going to follow in this process because all those 24 schools, like I indicated, nothing is happening. Lulu.
Now, Mike, with the whole meeting and the issue of schooling, there's uncertainty there. Are they likely going to come up with a solution? What sort of solutions that they put in place going forward?
Look, it will depend on parents and the protesting communities because when they met, they said that even though they don't want to go into the new municipality, they would like schooling to resume. But with these reports of intimidation, we don't know if the ministers will be able to reach some of those barricaded areas because we've got a place called Vuwani, it's next to Vuwani. There's one called Chimbupe and there's one called Masakona. The tensions are still high. The roads are barricaded. There are dark trenches. So it is very difficult to say if the situation will change anytime soon. But the likelihood is that if during the course of the week, in all those affected areas, they might not be schooling, unless if something is done urgently. Maybe schooling can resume next week. Lulu.
Mike, unfortunately, we have run out of time. We have to leave it there for now. That was our reporter, Michael Maringa, bringing us the latest in Vuwani, Limpopo.